I stared at my wedding dress hanging in the closet, its white silk catching the morning light. 3 days. In 3 days, I would marry Derek. "We're going to be so happy," I whispered, touching my engagement ring. Derek had been acting strange since Vegas 2 weeks ago, quieter, more secretive, but I pushed those thoughts away. Pre-wedding nerves, right? My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "You deserve to know the truth before you make the biggest mistake of your life." 3 video files attached. My heart stopped. My hands shook as I opened the first video. A hotel room. Derek's laugh. The same laugh I'd fallen in love with in college. Then I saw her. Blonde woman in red lingerie, kissing him. The timestamp, his bachelor party. My coffee mug slipped, shattering on the kitchen floor. The second video was worse. A brunette undressing him while he whispered things I couldn't bear to hear. But the third video destroyed me completely. A redhead in bed with him. Derek saying, "Maya will never find out. She's too trusting, too stupid." They all laughed. I watched each video 5 times, hoping I was hallucinating. Derek's distinctive shoulder tattoo, the watch I'd given him, his lucky socks. It was definitely him. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Another message. "We thought you should know. He bragged about how easy it would be to fool you. We're sorry. Jessica, Amanda, and Riley." I called in sick and spent the day crying on my bathroom floor. All those times he'd called me his sweet, innocent Maya. All those jokes about trusting people too easily. He hadn't been protecting me. He'd been mocking me. Derek came home with Chinese takeout and his usual smile. "Hey, beautiful," he said, kissing my forehead. "Excited for the big day?" I wanted to scream, but something stopped me. Maybe it was how comfortable he looked in his lie. "I'm exhausted," I said instead. "Wedding planning is overwhelming." He rubbed my shoulders. "That's why I handled my bachelor party myself. Less stress for you." The audacity was breathtaking. I excused myself and called Emma. "Emma, I need you to come over. Now, don't let Derek know." Emma had been my college roommate and maid of honor. She'd never liked Derek, always saying he seemed too smooth. When she arrived through the back door, I showed her the videos without explanation. "Oh, Maya," she whispered, hugging me. "I'm so sorry." Then her expression changed. "Wait, these women sent this to you?" I nodded. "Maya, this isn't just cheating. This is coordinated. They wanted you to know." Emma was right. Jessica, Amanda, and Riley could have kept this secret. "What are you going to do?" I thought about the 150 wedding guests, the deposits, my parents flying in from Seattle. I thought about Derek's smug face. "I don't know yet," I said. "But I'm not going to let him make a fool of me anymore." I couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., I messaged Jessica. "Thank you for telling me. Can we talk?" She responded immediately. "I couldn't live with myself if I didn't warn you. Can you meet us tomorrow?" All 3 women wanted to meet. Over coffee, Jessica explained. "He told us he was single, said he was celebrating his freedom from a controlling ex-girlfriend." Amanda looked uncomfortable. "When we realized he was getting married in 3 days, we felt sick. We all have sisters, friends who've been cheated on." Riley was more direct. "He's a narcissist, Maya. The way he talked about you, like you were his property. We've seen guys like him before. These women weren't my enemies. They were my allies." "We recorded everything on purpose," Jessica admitted. "Something felt off. When guys seem too eager to prove how single they are, it usually means the opposite." Derek's comments about me had disgusted them. "We want to help you," Amanda said, "whatever you decide to do." I looked at these 3 strangers who cared more about my well-being than my own fiancé. "I don't want to just cancel the wedding," I said slowly. "I want him to feel as humiliated as I do right now." Riley smiled. "We were hoping you'd say that." Emma joined us later, and we started planning. Derek thought I was too trusting. too stupid to fight back. He was about to learn how wrong he was. Derek's groomsmen started arriving. His best man Marcus hugged me. "Derek's so lucky to have you, Maya. You're going to make the perfect wife." If only he knew what Derek's definition of perfect really meant. I met with my revenge squad, Emma's name for us, every day. Jessica worked in social media marketing. Amanda was a lawyer. Riley was a wedding planner. Together, we were formidable. "We need to time this perfectly," Riley explained. "Right after the ceremony, during the reception, maximum audience, maximum embarrassment." Jessica had created a presentation with the videos, text messages from Derek's bachelor party, and screenshots of his dating app profile. "He never deleted it," she said, showing me messages he'd sent to other women even after we got engaged. Amanda's legal research revealed the most devastating discovery. "Derek's been hiding money from you. He opened a separate account. This isn't just cheating, Maya. This is financial deception, too." The man I thought was committed to our future had been planning his exit strategy for months. I spent my last single nights lying next to Derek, watching him sleep while I planned his downfall. He'd wake up, kiss my forehead, and ask if I was excited. "I can't wait," I'd say, meaning it, just not how he thought. My parents arrived from Seattle. Derek's family came from Chicago. 200 people gathering to celebrate our love, having no idea I were about to witness a public execution. The night before the wedding, Derek went out with his groomsmen. "Bachelor party part 2, he joked, kissing me goodbye. "Don't wait up." I smiled and waved, knowing this was the last night he'd ever underestimate me. I woke up on my wedding day feeling calm. Derek had stumbled in at 2 a.m., reeking of alcohol and cheap perfume. Another woman, but I didn't care anymore. Emma helped me get ready with my bridesmaids, my sister Claire and Derek's sister Rachel. "You look radiant," Claire said, adjusting my veil. "Different somehow. More confident." If only she knew that confidence came from finally taking control of my story. Derek looked handsome in his tuxedo, standing at the altar with his groomsmen. Marcus, his brother Jake, Tom, and Steve. The church was packed with family and friends. "Do you, Maya Elizabeth Chen, take Derek Michael Thompson to be your lawfully wedded husband?" I looked directly into Derek's eyes. "I do," knowing these would be the last 2 words I'd ever say to him as his fiancé. When he said "I do" back, I wondered if he was thinking about Jessica, Amanda, and Riley. The kiss felt like kissing a stranger. Everyone cheered as we walked down the aisle, officially married for exactly 47 minutes before everything would fall apart. At the reception, Derek was charming everyone, playing the perfect husband. He kept his arm around my waist possessively. "My beautiful wife," he introduced me to everyone. His parents, Margaret and Robert, kept thanking me. "He's been different since he met you," Margaret said. "More settled, more mature." I almost laughed. Jessica, Amanda, and Riley were positioned at different tables, blending in as friends from work. Emma had set up the projection system for our love story slideshow. Derek clinked his champagne glass, preparing his speech. I squeezed his hand and smiled, counting down the seconds. "Ladies and gentlemen," Derek began, raising his glass, "I want to thank you all for celebrating the most important day of my life." He looked down at me with what I used to think was love, but now recognized as ownership. "Maya, you've made me the luckiest man alive. You're everything I could ever want in a wife, kind, trusting, and devoted." The crowd awed appropriately. Emma gave me a subtle nod. It was time. "Actually," I said, standing with my own glass, "I have something to share too." Derek looked surprised but pleased. "Before we continue this celebration, I think everyone should know exactly who they're celebrating." I nodded to Emma, who started the presentation. "Derek, since you described me as too trusting and too stupid to ever find out about your bachelor party activities, I thought our wedding guests should see how wrong you were." The first video began playing on the large screen. The room went completely silent except for Derek with Jessica. Derek's face drained of color. "Maya, stop this," he whispered, grabbing for my arm. I stepped away. "Don't touch me. You lost that privilege when you decided to cheat on me with 3 women and mock me while doing it." The second video started. Gasps filled the room. Derek's mother covered her mouth in horror. "This isn't what it looks like," Derek said desperately, but his voice was drowned out by the audio of him calling me names I can't repeat. The third video began. Derek lunged for the laptop. Marcus and Tom held him back, looking sick. "Maya, please," Derek begged, tears streaming. "I love you. It was a mistake. I was drunk." But everyone could hear him in the videos, stone cold sober, planning to deceive me. "I can explain everything." "No need," I said, pulling out printed copies of his dating profile and bank statements. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet the real Derek Thompson, cheater, liar, and financial manipulator." Derek's father stood up abruptly. "Son, what have you done?" Derek couldn't answer. He just sat there, finally experiencing the humiliation he'd put me through. The silence was deafening. Marcus spoke first. "Dude, how could you do this to Maya?" Even his own friends were disgusted. Derek's sister Rachel was crying, apologizing repeatedly. "I'm so sorry, Maya. I had no idea he was capable of this." Derek tried one last desperate play. "Maya, everyone makes mistakes. We can work through this. Marriage is about forgiveness." He reached for me, but his own brother Jake stepped between us. "Don't. You've done enough damage." I looked around at all the people who had come to celebrate our love. My parents looked heartbroken but proud. Derek's parents looked ashamed. "Derek," I said, my voice steady, "I want you to listen carefully, because these are the last words I'll ever speak to you directly. You thought I was too stupid and too trusting to see through your lies. You underestimated me completely. This marriage is annulled tomorrow morning, and you'll be hearing from my lawyer about the money you've been hiding." Jessica, Amanda, and Riley approached the head table. "Maya," Jessica said, "we're proud of you for taking control of your story." Derek looked at them with pure hatred. "You bitches ruined my life," he snarled. The mask was completely off now. "No, Derek," Amanda replied calmly. "You ruined your own life the moment you decided to betray someone who loved you." Riley added, "And calling us names in front of your entire family just proves Maya made the right choice." Security escorted Derek from the building as he continued shouting threats. His groomsmen followed, embarrassed. The reception hall slowly emptied as people came to hug me, tell me how brave I was. I stood there in my wedding dress, surrounded by people who truly cared about me, feeling lighter than I had in years. 3 months later, I was sitting in my new apartment. My apartment, paid for with money from the annulment settlement and Derek's hidden account the court ordered him to split with me. Emma had helped me move, along with Jessica, Amanda, and Riley, who had become genuine friends. "I can't believe how different you look," Amanda said, admiring my new haircut. "It's like you're a completely different person." In many ways, I was. The naive Maya who believed in fairy tale endings was gone, replaced by someone who valued herself enough to demand honesty and respect. Derek had tried to contact me numerous times. He'd lost his job when the videos went viral. Jessica's social media expertise had ensured our wedding day confrontation reached a much wider audience. His reputation was destroyed. "Do you ever feel bad for him?" Riley asked during our weekly coffee meetup. I considered the question seriously. "I feel bad for the person I thought he was. But that person never existed. Derek made his choices." I'd started therapy to work through the betrayal and rebuild my ability to trust. My therapist helped me see that Derek's actions said nothing about my worth and everything about his character. My career was flourishing too. The confidence I'd gained translated into assertiveness at work. I'd been promoted to senior marketing coordinator. Emma often joked that I should thank Derek for showing me who he really was before we had children. Imagine if you'd found out 5 years from now. She was right. As painful as the betrayal had been, it saved me from a lifetime of being deceived. A year after what Emma and I called the Great Wedding Day Takedown, I was in a completely different place. I'd been promoted to marketing director. I'd traveled to Europe, a trip Derek had said was too expensive and impractical. I'd learned salsa dancing, started rock climbing, discovered I had a talent for photography. The biggest surprise came when I least expected it. I was at a coffee shop when someone approached my table. "Excuse me, are you Maya?" I looked up to see a man with kind eyes and a nervous smile. "I'm David, Marcus's cousin. We met briefly at Derek's wedding." I remembered him vaguely, one of the few people who'd approached me afterward to apologize. "I hope this isn't weird, but Marcus gave me your number. He said you might be open to coffee sometime." The old Maya would have panicked. The new Maya simply smiled. "I'd like that." We'd been dating for 6 months now, taking things slowly and honestly. David had seen the videos. Everyone had. But he admired how I'd handled the situation. "It takes real strength to expose the truth when it would be easier to just disappear," he'd said on our 3rd date. I ran into Derek once, at a grocery store. He looked terrible, thinner, older, defeated. He tried to approach me, but I held up my hand. "No," I said simply, and walked away. I felt nothing for him, not anger, not sadness, not even pity. He was just a stranger who had taught me valuable lessons about self-worth. Jessica, Amanda, Riley, Emma, and I still met monthly. We called ourselves the Truth Squad, and we'd helped 3 other women expose cheating partners over the past year. It had become our mission, supporting women who needed courage to stand up for themselves. As I looked back on that devastating day when I'd received those videos, I realized it wasn't the worst thing that had ever happened to me. It was the best. It had freed me to become who I was always meant to be.